Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, we are doing a speed build. I feel like it's been a minute since I've last done a speed build, or I at least have done a voiceover, but I feel like it's been a while since I've done a speed build in general too. Because I've been doing a bunch of the growing together stuff. I didn't think that I would just still be doing growing together for so long, but we're still doing it, and I've actually been really enjoying the growing together let's play and just playing with it in general. I really like the family that I've been playing with growing together, but we'll see how long I continue to play that. um but anyways, with moving on to the actual build, I honestly don't remember like what my inspiration was behind this build. I've been wanting to do more like just single one story floor kind of builds, instead of doing two-story builds, because they just take so much more work. I mean, one story builds can take a lot of time too, but I wanted to do more one story instead of two stories, because I feel like I do two stories all the time, and I feel like all of my builds are also just seeming to look the exact same. And so that was another thing that I really went in with the intent with. The way I'm wording this is making no sense. I went in specifically with the intention of not doing builds that I typically would do. So I did go in wanting to add colors and use items that I normally wouldn't use. So I did use that countertops. I don't remember where they're from exactly. But I never really use them because like I'm not crazy about the swatches, but I decided that I would go for some stuff, like I said, that I normally wouldn't use. But of course, I can't help myself, so I still did end up using like the classic like dream home decorator stuff and like things that I do normally use. I think I did like a good mesh between some things that I normally wouldn't use with some things that I use all the time. Because I feel like lately with like the newer packs, I've been really liking the items within them. So I am just a creature of habit as well, where I will use the same stuff over and over and over and over again. So, but I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do more and not do the same old like I normally do. And I feel like another inspiration behind me doing this build too, at least as far as like wanting to do like other colors and stuff. I mean, it honestly has nothing to do with it, but I think like when I first started building this build, I had it in mind. But I've been watching, or I should say rewatching, a lot of Real Housewives of New Jersey specifically. And so when I first started building the house, I wanted to try and include some aspects. I don't know why I can't talk today. But I wanted to include some aspects of like kind of the styling that I would see in like the houses of the Housewives of New Jersey, but it's just so not my style and just so extra that I really don't think I could ever like actually do it, because I just like more simple, clean cut styles. But that's like the first thought I had in mind of like, I think that's why I ended up choosing the colors that I did in the kitchen. But I still couldn't bring myself to do like the dark wood, because dark wood, especially just in that time in general in the early 2000s, was like, I feel like really common. But I still just couldn't bring myself to do it because I like lighter colors, because I just feel like it makes it the house or the home, whatever you want to call it, um, seem like nicer and more open when it's like brighter colors instead of like darker colors. But maybe one day I will fully go in with doing something completely out of my comfort zone and like very different from my style, because clearly I'm really bad with that. One day I should challenge myself on building a living room without using anything from Dream Home Decorator, because I feel like I don't ever use anything but Dream Home Decorator when it comes to the living room. I don't know. I guess I have a problem. I have a problem and I need help to figure that out. But if I continue on the topic of just videos and whatnot, obviously I've been doing and putting out a lot of growing together let's play videos. That was not my plan. I did not plan on like, it's pretty much like I've over like the last like couple of weeks, it's pretty much just been not Dream Home Decorator, growing together. And I've just really been enjoying it. I think that's like ultimately the reason why I've been playing it so much, is I just really have been enjoying the gameplay and whatnot. And so I will eventually get back to doing and continuing with like the Disney Princess Challenge and the 100 Baby Challenge. I don't know when I will get back to the 100 Baby Challenge because I just haven't been wanting to play it as much anymore. And I don't want to like film and record things that I'm not enjoying, because then if I'm not enjoying it, then like I don't think it will be enjoyable to actually watch. So I might be taking a slight little temporary break from the 100 Baby Challenge. I just feel like with the 100 Baby Challenge, it's so repetitive. So it's kind of gotten like kind of boring and old for me personally. So that's kind of why I'm taking a break from it. But I definitely feel like I will eventually get back to it. It's just sometimes, breaks from things are a good thing. But I feel like there's a part of me that it's a little afraid of what's going to be happening with like all of the stuff with like the babies and everything, because obviously we have the infant lifestyle and our life stage, not lifestyle now. And so I think I haven't even looked up what like the new rules are as far as infants, even though I know so many people have played and like have been doing 100 Baby Challenge since the new update just to challenge themselves, but I've been avoiding it. I'm like the opposite. While everyone else is going for it and seeing what it's going to be like, I've been avoiding it. But like I said, I will eventually get back to that, but right now I've just been enjoying like more variety with the gameplay so that's why I think I've been liking growing together so much, because it does allow for something different to be happening every day, whereas 100 Baby Challenge is like the same thing every single time. But I also want to do more like legacy kind of vibe, or like long time challenges, and I want to figure out something to do and something to play with utilizing the new pack, Horse Ranch. But I don't want to do basically what I'm doing with Growing Together, where it's specifically just like a let's play, specifically just exploring the Horse Ranch. I want to do something where it's going to like incorporate the Horse Ranch stuff, but then also like be something else. But so I'll have to figure that out. I'm still not sure, but I feel like I'm not going to be playing Growing Together for very much longer, because the oldest kid is going to be an adult fairly soon and everything, so I feel like it's going to eventually like come to an end, coming up quicker than what I'm thinking. So I'm going to continue to think about exactly where to go next with adding something to the channel to watch, besides, because once Growing Together ends, the only thing I'll have is like the Disney Princess stuff going on. So I'll have to figure that out. I'm still contemplating. I'm not sure. I'm very much in between on what should be happening with that one. But I also should probably talk about this build, because I feel like I've just been talking about everything but this build. But I wanted this build to be a place where like it's like not a huge home, but then like it is still like a little bit bigger, obviously, but like it still allows you to have a lot of Sims in the house. So I have
bigger rooms and like multiple beds and like multiple people. Like there's literally like no room where like only one sim can sleep in, you know? So I have like the master bedroom here right now on the screen, and I like how like it's really big, and so they have like a little seating area and stuff with it. But then like the room next to it has like, I've imagined like having like a teen in there along with like a younger kid in there, sharing the room and sharing the space, so they kind of each have their own little space to it, but then they still have um they're still sharing a space, and it like is cohesive. And then the other room, similar thing, where they have like a twin bed and then an extra single bed in there, so like literally three sims can fit in there. It's three sims could technically fit into that other room too, because it is a double bed that's I'm using. But I actually kind of really like the build in general, because like it's like simple, but then like, you know, very user friendly, I feel like, because there's lots of bathrooms, so you don't have to worry about like the bathroom space, because there's two full bathrooms and then plus a like toilet sink situation going on, and decent sized kitchen with plenty of seating, a huge couch for everyone to sit at. So I actually really like this build. And I honestly, generally, like I said, I kind of went into it with one thought and then ended up going in a completely different direction um, with it. And I was kind of just randomly going about it without any really clue on what I was going to be doing with it. So I think for that, it turned out pretty well. I feel like one of the areas that I struggle the most in is like decorating and whatnot, and just like adding like more personality to the rooms, because it's, like I said, like I normally am someone who just goes for like very simple, very like clean looking areas and spaces and stuff. So like for me, I normally use color as like an accent rather than like a huge focus. And so it's really hard for me sometimes to like incorporate more color and whatnot. But I feel like I have been trying more and more with my builds to add more personality and stuff. And I think another thing too that's hard for me is adding like decorations and stuff. Because like despite like my house, I do have decorations in my own home somewhat. Some people have probably more than I do, but like I do like having decorations and stuff, but like I just find it really hard. And then I also, obviously, again, it's another issue too of like I feel like I will use the same items over and over and over again. So I think that is just the struggle with playing The Sims, is at least for me, is sometimes it's really easy to use the same items over and over again. And then I feel like the only times that I use other items is if I'm going for like a very specific niche kind of build. So like if I'm doing like a cottage build, I will use just like very specific items for that build. So I need to like be able to incorporate and mix things together a little bit more and do the better with that. But you know, that will take time. And that makes me think that I kind of feel like I would want to try and do more like build challenge videos. But I typically just go for speed builds because, like I said at the beginning of this, I've been watching Real Housewives, and typically when I'm building, because it takes me a long time to build a lot of times, so typically what I do is I watch stuff while I'm building. So it feels so weird for me to just film a whole video where I'm just talking through the video and building at the same time. And then it also just takes me a very long time to edit that, because obviously instead of it just being like a quick speed build where I'm able to cut down the time significantly really easily, if it's a build where I'm talking the whole time, it's not so easy to cut down all of the time. Because obviously I have to incorporate what I'm actually saying so it actually makes sense. So that's another reason, I guess, that I don't really do builds where I'm just chit chatting the whole time. But I do want to do more challenges, because I love watching those kinds of videos where people are doing like challenges. I've really been loving watching people do like every tiny home is a different whatever, or every room is a different whatever, but specifically the tiny homes, because I really like those. I think they're really fun. But I know that for me, that would probably take like hours. I'd probably, sometimes I've done builds that have literally taken me like 3 hours. I will say, probably one of the reasons why it does take me so long sometimes, though, is because I do watch stuff. And so sometimes I get distracted and then I'm like watching more than I am actually building. But sometimes it just generally does take me a long time. And I contemplate a lot when I build. I contemplate so much and I like change my mind so much sometimes. And so that's also another reason why I take so long when it comes to building. But, you know, I shouldn't let that stop me from doing things that I think would be fun. But the only problem is I'm the one who edits my videos, so then it ends up being my problem still nonetheless, because then I am going to be the one stuck having to spend the hours and hours that it'll take to build. Because I will be completely honest, I have filmed build videos before and I have posted I think one or two of them, but I've probably just kind of trashed several others just because I could not get through the editing of them. So I think that will be a challenge, because I've been challenging myself and like trying to do a better job with like not filming for too long when it comes to just like regular videos that I already do. So like when I'm recording Growing Together, I try to make sure that I'm not filming for hours and try to only film for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, so that way the videos don't end up being super super long. Because I know for me too, like I would rather not like post super super long videos, because I feel like the longer the videos, the like less entertaining they can get sometimes, because I don't know, I just feel like they can get really repetitive. And that's why I've been trying to edit differently too. It's just really hard because like sometimes I feel like you need to include things, but then sometimes it's like, oh, that doesn't really need to be included. So it's like a really hard balance with everything. But I feel like I'm doing better. I feel like, especially like with doing Growing Together for so long and like figuring out, okay, I can include this doesn't really need to be included. It makes it a little bit easier. And I think just with time and like with editing more and making sure that I'm like filming very very intentionally, it makes it a little bit easier on figuring out what should and should not be included and what can be taken out and what should remain and whatnot. I feel like I was so repetitive in that sentence, but anyways, I mean, story of my life being extremely repetitive, it's a very normal thing for me, I guess. Another area that I always struggle with is like the outside in general with builds, because I just never think about them. And then plus I feel like once I get to the outside, I've already been filming and like building for so long that I'm like, I really don't care as much. But for the first time in a while, I normally never include pools, but I figured this build could use a pool. I feel like, whatever family is living here, like it kind of maybe even be like a summer home kind of vibe. So why not incorporate and include a little pool? And I normally don't really do much as far as like adding in anything, but I did add in some lights and stuff because I just feel like that would probably make sense for it to have some lighting there. And for how big the family obviously living here is, I probably should have added, more seating outside, but I didn't, because I wanted to just keep it pretty simple. But I actually really liked how it ended up looking at the end of the day, with it. And another area that I struggle with, the landscaping. But I just kind of, once again, kept it simple and simplistic. I get so annoyed that like I don't know how to do landscaping well. I feel like all the times that I've done landscaping, like instead of getting better, I just feel like it's either a hit or a miss for me. It's either ends up turning out really really well, or it ends up turning out looking like a hot mess. And then I just don't understand how other people are able to do such good jobs landscaping. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm trying to like do similar vibes to you, but like it's not coming out the same. But I think this landscaping is pretty simple and it's pretty fine. I feel like another reason why I struggle with landscaping though sometimes is sometimes I don't pick the best lots for the style of house or this homes that I'm building. I think that's one of the issues, because I feel like this style of home doesn't necessarily fit in this specific neighborhood and in this world. But you know what? It is what it is. And this video is over. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. So just want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this speed build. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.